electric vehicles are soon going to be cheaper than gas cars. What? How in the... Wait in the... Actually, it makes sense. If you think about a lot of the stories that I've covered here on how like India and I believe the UK and other countries are saying they're going to only have electric or non-gas cars by a certain date. I think India said 2035 or something like that. That new legislation that Tulsi Gabbard put forward, coupled with lower battery costs. So right now, like the Chevy Bolt or like the Kia Soul EV or something like the Leaf, those cars are about $35,000, which is a fair amount to pay for a car. You can get, depending on the state you live in, up to a $10,000 tax break. Like you can get $7,500 back from the feds, and in California you get $2,500 in tax break. So then that $10,000 brings the price down, and if you can get your maintenance costs go down, so over time it becomes a cheaper car. But now they're saying that just the initial sticker price will come down, and here how they came to that was a new report from investment bankers Cohen and Co. This is why it's important. Now, this article that is below is in ecowatch.com. Obviously, that's some hippie website, which is great. But when the business community is reporting that they're going to be cheaper and more profitable, that's what's important. Because in order for environmentalism to really take hold, the capitalists need to see it somehow, or we just get rid of capitalism, go to socialism. But if they start to see, I believe regulated capitalism and environmentalism can coexist. I believe that. Maybe I'm wrong. But so that's why I think this is important, because this is the kind of news that gets a car company and gets, investment and banking people to go, oh, maybe electric cars or something we should get involved with. So I'll read what the study. The analysis compiled by Cohen Managing Director and Senior Research Analyst Jeffrey Osborne determined that electric vehicles will cost less than gasoline-powered cars by the early mid-2020s, not that far away, due to falling battery prices as well as costs that traditional car makers will incur as they comply to new fuel efficiency standards. And the rest of the world is, if Trump just deregulate, oil, woo, the rest of the world is not giving a shit about dumb America. So, and if China is making electric cars for their 1.5 billion people that live there, that's a big part of the market. So these costs, they're predicting that electric vehicle sales will go from 1% this year to 3% in 2020 and 7.5% in 2025. That's big. That's substantial. You might just be like, oh, it's only 3%. That's a lot of cars. And when something starts, like everyone was like, I remember the head of Nissan back in 2000 was like, we'll never have a hybrid. That's a dumb thing. And then the Prius came out in 2003 and people went nuts for them. And then everyone started making hybrids. So batteries currently account for about half of the cost of EVs, and the prices will fall about 77% between 2016 and 2030. That is huge. Falling prices, plus they make them, as you know with technology, it's so much is about the battery. You make the battery smaller, lighter, last longer. There you go. That's the big hurdle in an electric car. Is range. So like the Chevy Bolt gets 220 miles, the Teslas all get 207 miles. That's the other thing too. The Tesla has cut into luxury car markets. I mean, Lexus and those kind of companies got whacked by Tesla because someone said, if I'm going to spend $80,000 on a car, why don't I get the fancy electric one that gets 230 miles or whatever off of a charge? It looks like a spaceship that is like the most amazing, safest car that's ever been made. That's business. So that helps move this forward. We see the competitive tide shifting in 2019 and beyond as European car makers, roiled by the diesel scandal and loss of share to Tesla in high-margin luxury segments, step on the gas to accelerate the pace of EV introductions. He wrote, "Oh God, we don't need those stupid fucking puns." Volvo is announcing, they announced this in July, that every car it launches from 2019 will have an electric motor. They're ending the internal combustion engine. Volvo said that, starting in 2019. That's big. Earlier this month, Volkswagen, the world's biggest automaker, announced plans to offer an electric version across the company's 300 models by 2030, and will be rolling out 80 new electric cars under its multiple brands by 2025. That's big. That's big. And you remember Volkswagen, had an emissions cheating scandal. So they decided to, it's good, you got caught. Decided to go the good route. And so let me expand on this list. So the Cohen report comes at an increasing number of countries. China, Scotland, France, and India announced intentions to ban diesel and gasoline cars in order to cut fossil fuel emissions. So this is good. This is something that I've been talking about. I have an old car that's like 250 some thousand miles on it. I will be buying a new car soon in the next couple months, and it's going to be electric. And I highly recommend any sort of clean burning fuel for your car use, or using your car less, or like today I just rode my bike everywhere, and I take public transportation when I can. Stuff like this, man, because this is when the dollar moves, that's when they wake up. People stop buying gas cars and they're buying electric cars, and they stop using as much oil. That's when things change. So I'm glad this report came out by an investment company, not a bunch of hippies up in Berkeley or whatever. Like, hey man, electric cars, you're better. No, it's like a bunch of suits came up with this. That's what we need. We need the suits to show the other suits, hey, it's better to go electric. So thanks for watching the show. Support the show. Go to patreon.com. I'm trying to get a little more Patreon business going so I can do some more stuff. I'm getting close to being able to get a TV behind me so I can start doing clips and stuff like that. I've been saving that up. So you guys are fantastic, and positive reviews, share these videos are all great ways to support the show. And of course, I've got tour dates. Go to grahamelwood.com. I'll be doing Political Vigilante live at the Los Angeles Podcast Festival. That's October 6th through the 8th. That's at lapodfest.com. Jimmy Dore will be there, The Dollop, My Favorite Murder, a bunch of other shows. And then I'll be doing stand-up comedy October 10th in San Francisco at the Punchline Comedy Club, October 11th at the Helium in St. Louis, and October 12th through the 14th at the Zanies in St. Charles, which is just outside of Chicago. grahamelwood.com for all the tour dates. Thanks, guys.